Hi, I'm Darren from Foodcube, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your Foodcube Slim. Before we get started, there's two things we're going to need to get the job done. Firstly, some O-ring grease, and secondly, some Teflon tape. Now, what's inside the box? There's 2 air cones, 2 back nuts, 2 circlips, 2 level setters, 2 level setter extensions, 2 mozzie caps, 2 outlets, 2 O-rings, we've got 8 wicking cones, and we've got 10 blanking clips. Now that we know what's inside the Foodcube, it's time to start assembling. We're going to start by putting together the soil trays. So you take your soil tray and wicking cones and simply insert the wicking cones into the holes on the bottom of the soil tray. There we go. That's step number 1 done. Complete this for the second soil tray. I've assembled the second soil tray, and now we're ready to put together the level setter assembly. To do this, we're going to need our plumber's tape and our O-ring grease. Take out your outlet and your level setter. We're going to add a little bit of O-ring grease into the outlet, just a tiny dab, and put it on the inside here. This makes it much easier to get the level setter to sit in there correctly. Move that grease around so it's nice and slippery, and we're going to insert the level setter into the outlet. The first O-ring goes through nice and easy. The second one's a bit tight. So to get this one in, I normally put it on a level surface and push it down, and you'll see that that second O-ring has seated and it's sitting nice and flat. We then need to grab our level setter extension and mozzie cap, and we can put those together. We don't need plumber's tape on that because that's up above the water line. We put a little bit of plumber's tape on this bottom edge. So I tend to wrap this around 4 times, and that gives us a nice tight seal. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Break that off, and then you can tighten this up into the level setter itself. Give that a good hard tighten up, and then that's our level setter assembly done. Complete this for the second level setter assembly as well, and then we'll move on to the next step. I've assembled the 2 level setters, and now it's time to install them into the Foodcube. Take out the 2 air cones, take one of your level setter assemblies and slip an O-ring over the top and push it down so it's nice and flat. From the inside of the Foodcube, push the level setter assembly through the hole, rotate it round until it forms a nice seal there. Then take one of your circlips and then lock that in place on the outside of the Foodcube. It should clip into place nicely. And then finally you take one of the back nuts, slip it over the top of the level setter assembly, and rotate that down and tighten that up. It should be nice and tight, and that creates a waterproof seal. There should be no gaps down here. Once you've installed the first level setter, then complete it in the same way on the other side. Your Foodcube will come with these blanking clips. If you've purchased a net system, the net system will come with these netting clips. These are designed to lock the net down. But for my Foodcube, I'm just going to fit these blanking clips. They slide in sideways and lock into place, and they neaten up the Foodcube and make it look fantastic. If you ever need to take out these clips, say for example you've purchased a net system, you can use a flat-headed screwdriver just to push them out, and then they can be replaced with the netting clips. Okay, so we've got our clips in place. Final step for assembly is to put our soil trays in. So you line up the air cone hole with the cutout corner in the side of the food cube. Take the air cone, put it in at a 45-degree angle facing forward. It'll lock into place, and then lift it up and pop it down, and it should sit nice and flush on the edge. Do the same thing on the other side, and your food cube is assembled. Now that you've assembled your food cube, we recommend that you do a quick leak test before you fill it full of soil. Fill through here using your hose until it overflows out of the level setter. Make sure that there are no leaks around the back nut, and with that done, you're ready to fill it full of soil. What sort of soil should you use? Well, we recommend the BioGrow Wicking mix. We worked with BioGrow to develop this mix. It's great because it's free draining, and it also allows the water to wick up through the soil. And it also doesn't slump over time like a lot of potting mixes and sinks down. If this is not available in your area, we'd recommend a high quality potting mix. You can also check out our website on the resources tab for the recipe for our soil mix. Foodcube Slims were designed to sit directly on the ground or on a level concrete surface, but you can choose to buy a leg set for them, which will raise the top of the food cube up to 700 mil, which is a nicer working height. I'll show you how you fit those. So start by taking out the two soil trays, and then we're going to flip the food cube over. With the food cube completely upside down, we'll just sit the legs in place. The screws that are going to hold this in place come as part of the set. I typically just load them all out and then start by putting them in all of the legs. Then, with a cordless screwdriver, simply tighten them up. With the legs all tight, flip it back over. And you're ready to install the soil trays. Again, remembering to line up the air cone with the cutout in the corner. Congratulations, you've done it. You've assembled your very first Foodcube Slim. It's now ready to fill full of wicking mix, water and plant out, and it will give you many years of enjoyment in your garden. If you'd like to learn more about our range, check out foodcube.com.au.